Hi, I'm Shivani Kawa, and today I will be taking the Namma metro from Baipnali to MG Road. But before we board, let's talk about something that has been on everybody's mind, the metro fare revisions. If you have been following the news, you know that there has been public backlash over the steep metro fare hikes. But BMRCL has now finally listened and made some important changes. Let me break it down for you. The minimum fare remains 10 rupees and the maximum fare is still 90 rupees. So what has changed is the cap. Initially, the BMRCL proposed a hike of 100%, but now they have reduced it to 71%. So according to BMRCL, there's a fare increase, but it is not as high as it could have been.
Metro functions under this Metro Railways Maintenance and Operations Act of 2002, and Section 33 and 34 of that act speaks about the Fare Fixation Committee, right? So according to the act, the fares have to be revised and done by this Fare Fixation Committee. Fare Fixation Committee should have a retired High Court judge, one nominee of the Union Government, one nominee of the State Government, and they also have to consult the public. So if you look at the fare hike in Bangalore, what happened was the State Government wrote to the Union Government asking for a Fare Fixation Committee. The Union Government issued an order setting up the Fare Fixation Committee, which had representatives of the Union Government and the State Government and this retired High Court judge. That committee then visited some 2 countries and they did whatever study. That committee took inputs from the public. Then that committee submitted its report. This report and the recommendations of the report were tabled in a BMRCL board meeting. And in this board meeting, like I said earlier, Union Government and State Government representatives were there. The BMRCL board then ratified the hike. So if you say whose role was there in the hike, State Government and Union Government's role is there. But is there transparency? No, because so far, nobody has seen the Fare Fixation Committee report. So far, nobody has seen the board meetings of the BMRCL board where they've approved it. My question is, why shouldn't the board meeting be made public? This is not a private company, this is a public company. Why do we not know the board meeting? I want to know who in the BMRCL board said, yeah, let's go for the hike. Who opposed it? Did anybody oppose it at all? Or did everybody say, let's go for it? But there's no transparency.
I'm from Andhra, staying in Jayanagar for my academic purpose. Every day I used to travel from RV Road to Majestic through metro. It's previously around 24 rupees. Now after the tremendous fare hike by the Bengaluru Metro Corporation, it became 45 around, I think so. It is very difficult to us to bear every day 45 rupees.
ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಮೊದಲು ಜನಸಾಮಾನ್ಯರ ಕೈಗೆ ಎಟ್ಕೋತಾರ ಇತ್ತು. ಇವತ್ತು ಯಾವ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇದೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಬಸ್ ಟ್ರೈನ್ಗೆ ಹತ್ತಬೇಕು, ಮೆಟ್ರೋಗೆ ಹತ್ತಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜನ ಭಯ ಬೀಳೋ ತರ ಮಾಡಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಸರ್ಕಾರ. ಇವತ್ತು ಅದು ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಜನಸಾಮಾನ್ಯರಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಆಗಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು ಆ ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಕೆಲಸ ಸರ್ಕಾರಗಳು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು. ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಈ ತರ ಮಾಡಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಇವತ್ತು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಜನನೇ ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಮುಂದಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
Earlier fares were calculated based on the distance travelled, which means it led to a huge difference in pricing for small distance. For example, I am travelling from Baipnali to MG Road, which is 6.7 kilometers and used to cost around 19 rupees. But after the proposed hike, it doubled to rupees 40. That is because it comes under the 4th fare zone, which is 6 to 8 kilometers. But under the new system, the new fare will be 30 rupees, which is what I am travelling at right now, because this falls under the 3rd fare zone, which is 4 to 6 kilometers. Instead of calculating the fare based on the distance, BMRCL will now charge based on the stations travelled. For the calculation, the distance between 2 stations will be considered as 11 kilometers regardless of the distance. This will make the fares more predictable and fairer.
BMRCL is not a government department and many people don't really know this. BMRCL is actually a company. It's a special purpose vehicle set up as a sort of a joint ownership of both the government of India and the government of Karnataka. And if you see who runs BMRCL, BMRCL has a board. And this board has 15 directors. You can check the BMRCL website for all the details. The chairperson of the board of BMRCL is the Secretary, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Government of India. And the managing director of BMRCL, who does all the day-to-day functioning and runs the organization, is right now it's Maheshwar Rao. And on the board of BMRCL, he is a nominee of the government of Karnataka. And if you see the board of BMRCL, there are 15 people. 5 people are nominees of the government of India. 5 people are the nominees of the government of Karnataka. There are also 5 functional directors of BMRCL. These are people who are more like technical people. There is one person who also takes care of the accounts, and the others are technical people in charge of like technically implementing the trying to get the metro project up and running. So this is the functioning of the board, and the board has you cannot say the board is only government of India. You cannot say the board is only government of Karnataka. The board has representatives of both, and the organization, the special purpose vehicle or the company itself is like set up with like both people sort of running the show, both people sort of operating it.
Now, what does this mean for you? Now, if you are a metro traveler like me, you will notice that there has been an increase in the fare price, but it is still more reasonable than the proposed hike.
Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah recently said that BJP leaders credit the union government for constructing the metro, but blame the state government when people express anger over fare revisions.
See, whatever credit is there, like I said, both are involved in the running of this metro. So, in fact, both should take, at least in the last 10 years, we've had like the same government in the union, right? And in the state, of course, the governments have changed. Both need to take credit, both need to take brickbats also for whatever is happening. And in fact, while there is a rush to take credit, there is actually a dearth of people to answer questions about things which have gone wrong. What has gone wrong? For example, phase 1 of the metro initially had a budget of around 6,500 crores. By the time it was complete, it was around 14,000 crores. Phase 2 of the metro, the initial budget was 26,000 crores. Now it is 40,000 crores, and phase 2 is not yet complete. Well, people are taking credit. Oh, our government got this line sanctioned, our government got that line approved, our government got this expedited, etc. Who's answering the questions, right? And this is what people are interested in. And the credit war also happens because Metro will propose something, Metro will prepare a DPR. First, the state cabinet has to approve it, then the union cabinet has to approve it. And we also have to ask the question: why are like projects like Metro? Why do they even need like union government approval? Right? Why shouldn't states be empowered? And the other question to ask is, there is absolutely no role for the local government. BBMP, see, according to the 74th Amendment to the Constitution, and the local bodies are supposed to be given power, right? And if you see the schedules to the Constitution related to urban governance, BBMP should be in charge of transport, BBMP should be in charge of planning. There's no role for BBMP at all. We need to make changes to the Metro Act also. One, elected representatives have no role in the functioning of this BMRCL. Like I said, the board does not have anybody. If you see the board of BMTC, the transport minister is there. But in the board of BMRCL, even the transport minister of the state is not there. The housing and urban affairs minister or transport minister of the union government is not there. At least if they were elected representatives, we could have sat outside their house and protested and said, what happened? What did you say? Now there are bureaucrats. We can't go ask a bureaucrat, and we can't go protest outside a bureaucrat's house. They are not bound to like reply to us, right? And also there's no member of the commuters. See, it is a good practice to have commuters representatives, right? So commuters representatives can be in the board. They need not be voting members, but they can be there to observe. And commuters representatives can be in the fare fixation committee. And the fare fixation committee put out ad asking for commuters to give suggestions and all that. But they could have also had a public consultation where the fare fixation committee could have said what BMRCL has asked for, what are they thinking. This could have all been a public discussion, right? What is the harm? Everybody would have been more informed. BMRCL is saying we actually asked for 105% hike, but they've only given this much. This is reported in the Deccan Herald as well. Why is BMRCL asking for 105% hike? Let all those who are fighting for the credit and all those who are blaming each other saying they're responsible for the fare hike, let them answer this question first.
If you found this video helpful, do become a TNM subscriber. And do let me know in the comment section what you think about the new fare hike.